that in every society from the beginning of time, the only beings that are allowed to create anything are the gods. You are godly and you have made something godly, and we are better for you being here. Thank you so much. Beautiful into the theater. How excited are we? That's about my reaction as well. All right, we are right there.
So, filmmakers, here we go.
When you see these people this week,
Ask them about their films. And go to Saks Place, perhaps, or any other of the restaurants that are on our website.
the Queen's Theater for hosting this evening. You really develop artists at all levels of their careers with an incredible attention and detail to accessibility and diversity and inclusion.
We also would like to thank our other venues, Kaufman Astoria Studios, Flushing Town Hall, The Local, and of course the Museum of the Moving Image for making all these screenings possible.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the Queen's Memory Project, I would like to just express my gratitude to the Queen's World Film Festival for creating these wonderful interviews with Queen's residents about their hopes and their resilience during these challenging times. For those of you who maybe are not familiar with us, Queen's Memory is a participatory archiving program that has trained hundreds of volunteer interviewers and collected nearly 1,000 oral history interviews with Queens residents from across the borough.
Day Lipcott, Lucy Sexton, Terrence Sacramone, and Ellen Kodadak for reimagining the practices of our arts and cultural spaces. And the presentation will be followed by a block of 6 films that we have named Remarkable Women. And at the Zucker, we will be screening Real Fur, Tamir Chandri's unflinching look at the fur factories. Yes, there, he's right here. Let's raise your hand. We will see you tomorrow night at the Zucker.
Thursday, we're in Flushing Town Hall with Hideout, and at the Local with Stories of Healing. And at Kaufman Astoria Studios Zucker Theater with 6 films that urge us to truly see our fellow travelers in a block that we call Unseen. And at the Museum of the Moving Image, we will honor Sandra Schulberg, one of our board members, for her tireless work in restoring indie films and introducing the Filmmakers' Bill of Rights. That's here. The presentation will be followed by Filmmakers for the Prosecution by Jean-Christophe Klotz and produced by Sandra from her memoirs. It's a thrilling story of how brothers Bud and Stuart Schulberg, serving under the movie director John Ford's OSS, gathered films made by the Nazis to convict them at the trial at Nuremberg.
Thank you, Gatha. Hello, everyone. How are you guys? So let's talk about who you are, what is Queen's World Festival, and who I am. So let's talk about first Queen's World Festival. What is this Queen's World Film Festival? That's a bridge of your real world to bring it to the real world. That's what the Queen's World Film Festival is doing for you guys. What you guys are. You guys have bought some topic, some create in your brain, which is the real world brain, put it everything on the paper, and then made one real world. And now that real world, which you're going to put it back into the real world. And what you have created, which I mentioned last time, which is never going to die. Like, you're going to die, I'm going to die, but what you have created, which will remain ever, forever, and forever, right? Your kids will say, my father or mother made this film, like that, right? And who I am, why, what is the name, what is the indie films world means? Where I'm also a filmmaker like you guys. When I made my first feature film, The Elevator, with Oscar nominee Eric Roberts, I went with a lot of pain, lot of hard work. I'm sure you guys must have experienced all that, but I never gave up. And then I realized at the same time of my journey, there are many people, many independent filmmakers, they can make the film, but they don't know where to release it. Sometimes they ran out of the money, they shut down in between, they close their project in between, but they don't know what to do. So that's how I started Indie Films World is a platform exactly like a Netflix. It's a Netflix of independent filmmakers platform. So anybody who wants to release their release their film, they can come to me or they can just log into independent filmmakers. All these independent go to indiefilmsworld.com and they can release their film there. And this, especially this independent films world, we are protecting all the producers, the software what we are using to protect. If anybody wants to do the screen picture or screen recording, they cannot do it. That kind of software we're using. So then the producers they are very much safe. Their film, their contents are safe that nobody can download and nobody can copy it. So this is Indie Films World, and with that I would also bring it back to Katha to proceed further. Thank you.
Thank you.
To share a block of films with you tonight called Now What?
And yes, now what? So you've heard me mention it before, that this is an interesting time for us, and I find myself saying, now what? Almost every single day. And I want to let people know that when I watched this block that he had put together, I literally screamed at one point. It's shocking. It's shocking. And I know that everybody thinks that I'm the loud, edgy one. You should always be careful of the very quiet ones because they're very twisted.
By Vanessa Romero from Spain. Sour Dogs by Guillermo de Olivia from Switzerland. The Wind Girl, Dana Karim, film Iraq. By Way of Water by Alexander Gould from New Jersey. Bayard Street by Cindy Chu from Queens. And last, Bow by Isaiah Smith from, well, he's right here, I saw him earlier.
So if you are speaking tonight, can you please raise your hand? I think we have. So afterwards, we'll do a quick Q&A and you'll get to know the filmmakers a little bit better and you'll be able to find out a little bit more about them. So, here we are. Here we are. 12. As we move into the festival, please remember that from the beginning of time, we have gathered in the darkened caves around the flickering lights to share our stories. We've upgraded the caves. The flickering lights are now zeros and ones, but the impulse to gather remains. And it is in that gathering that we realize they is us, them is we, and I'm just another you. With that, thank you for choosing to gather tonight, and we welcome to Now What?